it's actually not that complicated. It shouldn't be. So if we think about it, we really need to work from the result backwards to the technique, not the other way around. I think that's the right path to take. If we want the melody to sound even, absolutely even, and singing in nature, because that's what we are imitating, a bold instrument like violin or cello, or singers to sing. So the melody is produced by those three fingers. There are four fingers involved in this activity, right? So P-A-M-I, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 notes in a group. Now only three fingers are producing the melody line, 1, 2. The thumb is for the bass line, so 1 and then 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what we really need is for those three fingers to sound even, not four. Those three fingers, even them out. So ya da 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 da, even. Then we fit the thumb in. So ba da da 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 ba da. See? Fit the thumb in. That's the right logic. So that the melody will always stay even, because it is ya da 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 da. Then the thumb play the bass, ba da da ba da da ba da da ba da da, somewhere in the middle, ba da da ba da da. That's how it stays. The more identical those three fingers sound like, the more even it sounds to other people. So first of all, dynamic. We want it to be identical. So listen first. It's not even. What I hear is there's one note too loud. Listen. The second one is too loud, and I feel it is the middle finger. Then if we know which finger is the problem one, then it's easy. We just dial it down for that finger to have a lighter touch. And then we try again. But most of the case, we simply have no idea which finger is the problem one. Now what we do is we record ourselves on the phone, and then we look at the sound wave. The one that has a peak, the crazy one, is the problem one. So we trace back to see which finger produced that sound wave, and then we dial that finger down, have a lighter touch to it. And then we try again, and then record it again, and to see the sound wave until it looks pretty similar, then problem solved. And now let's listen to the color. So if the color is not even, it might be because the nails. So just use the sandpaper, always solve the problem. All about the nails, right? So what we want is smooth all the way, inside, outside, everywhere to be smooth. Then we're good to go. Okay, this is what I use. I've never changed it. 2000 grade. It's been perfect. You can use a different one, but as long as it's smooth, then we're good to go. Now, in the classical guitar community, there's always a huge fight about the shape of the nail. Now, I'd say it only becomes important when you're the top 1% of the classical guitarists performing on the stage. Even then, the musicality and everything else will overcome the importance of the shape of the nail. So I'd say as long as we don't shape it crazy like a triangle or a jigsaw, then congratulations, we're good to go. Let's move on. So one easy way to make sure all colors are even is to use just one finger and then pluck one open string. For example, this E string. Now it's middle finger, any finger is fine. And what we want is for the other two fingers to imitate the sound. Listen, just one finger. Now three. sound pretty similar. But if I would record it with a phone, which you should do the same, record it on the phone and listen to it half of the speed, you will hear the difference. Now the game is to find the difference and adjust it accordingly. For example, if the index finger is too thin, you listen to it as too thin compared to the other two, then you change the angle and make it thicker, and then compare again, record again. When you cannot hear the difference even on the recording, then now we're talking, you see? Because when you play on a guitar, human ears cannot tell the difference. And it's like when you practice with the highest standard, the bottom line will follow. See, that's the logic. There are a lot of people really having trouble to make it sound even in terms of rhythm, and I was one of them. So it sounds like it's just not even. And this is how we fix it, by playing dotted rhythm, practicing dotted rhythm. There are two kinds. If we start from the ring finger, the first one, second one, the reverse one, still start from ring finger. Okay, everything short, all staccato, everything short. Even now for me, I still practice dotted rhythm when I play tremolo, just to maintain the evenness. So do the same. Now let me show you a fantastic exercise. This will help the evenness greatly. So what we want is for all four fingers play on one string. Let's just do it on the E string. So thumb to begin with, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 notes, right? And we count in 5. So like this, start with the thumb, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What it does is that it tricks our brain to think that it groups in 5, but it's actually in 4. And how do we practice this? Let me show you. So play louder on the first note of this group of 5, right? So like this, 1, like that. Because it's grouped in 5, the stress will naturally fall on different finger each time, so it confuses our brain. When we stop counting in 5, do it in 4 naturally, it will sound even. So here's an exercise about precision. It's not as important, to be honest, because when we first started, to play it even is our goal. And only when the evenness is not a big problem, then we focus on other things, such as precision. A lot of times we're playing tremolo on E string. Now this is easy because we have a lot of space for us to have all the movements, but sometimes it's on the second or the third string, then limits our movements of the fingers, right? So we have to be precise. That's when it comes precision. So how do we practice it? By practicing all the exercise we talked about on the second string or the third string. Choose one. Same thing, dotted rhythm on the second string, and the goal is to play it clean. Also, just as a good rule of thumb, to keep movements small for both hands and closer to the string, just so it's precise. If the movement is big, it's precise only because I've practiced a different way for a long time, so that now this is precise. If I do it on this hand, which I've never practiced, if I do it like this, it's a lot of extra movement, which we don't want. We want precise and small movements. So when we pluck the ring finger, the second finger is prepared, is right there close to the string. And then this one play, and the next index finger is already in place, very close to the string, so that we don't have to look and we know it's there. And then now plug. So now same thing, look at this one. So every finger is in place right before we need them, right? See? That's why we practice dotted rhythm and staccatos, because then, see, the finger is already anticipated and already there. And all we need to do is one motion, play. So, now again, this exercise is less important than any of the ones we mentioned before. Do spend all the time to do the previous ones and save this one for later. Trust me. Well, when the tremolo gets a certain speed, that's when I just started learning. It always becomes somewhat dotted rhythm. Let's see if I can show you what I mean. So it's supposed to sound like, let me show you. For example, and I always sounded like dotted, like I cannot demonstrate well. It was somewhat dotted. It doesn't sound good. Sound like people walk like da 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 for some reason. So what I did, I practiced the dotted rhythm opposite of where I tend to be. For example, if I tend to sound somewhat like that, I practice this to get it really in my system. So whenever I sounded funny, I think how I feel if I play the other type of dotted rhythm, so I balance it out in a way in my mind, and that manifests on the fingers, so that helps. Then we do it on one of the pieces. For example, just one passage or just one bar, we repeat it. For example, just here. So, and what we want is practice the whole thing again, but with just one bar. Maybe 2 bars. See, dotted rhythm and the other dotted rhythm. Also, if you do practice with a metronome, which is great, just like I did, I do recommend to go one by one, go up gradually. So if you're like 60, then we do 61, 62, 63, only because we need time, and we simply need enough times of repetition of the right motion over and over again. That's how we improve. See? So let's actually talk about metronome. Now, in the classical music community, you can always start a conversation talking about metronome, right? So for all of these exercises, I do recommend to practice with a metronome, and I do recommend, and it's what I did, is to do it not 10 by 10, say 60, 70, 80, but do it one by one, or say 60, 61, and then 63, 65. The reason is that, yes, we're practicing technique, but we're also practicing the sensibility of timing, which is extraordinary because when we apply to all the pieces that we play, that gives us the freedom of controlling the ever so slightly shifts of tempo. And it's because that sensibility allows us to create this illusion of sense of flow when we play music. See, my main point is don't get frustrated when you practice with a metronome. That's all. Okay, so one last thing I want to say about all of this is that it simply takes a long time. It takes a lot of time to practice tremolo so that it seems easy for other people. Like right now I play, it's effortless. It is, but it took me 20 years. It took me 20 years to get to where I am right now. When I first started, I still remember it sounded funny, especially when I listened to it on the recording, because I do videotape myself and I listen for the recording and I analyze the sound wave just so it's even. It's a little bit crazy, but but it helped tremendously actually. It was hours after hours after hours of listening and practicing, and also asking for advice from my mom and dad, you know, they were getting so annoyed of me asking them how it sounded like, but it all helped. See, it all helped. So what I'm saying is that don't get frustrated. It just takes a long time. And remember, really, for all the people who say it's easy to play this or to play anything well, it is simply not true, because all we do is to make it looks easy. That's my profession, that's our profession, is to make it looks easy. But the time that we put into it to make it looks easy is tremendous. It's a tremendous amount of time. It's simple as that. So don't be frustrated, and have fun practicing. Enjoy the process, and you know, drink some tea and talk to people, ask people how it sounds like, get some advice. And if you have anything, you don't understand anything, ask me, because it's only hard when you don't know how. It's easy for the people who figured it out, because they know all the details, the little details, how to make things work when it's not working. So ask away. All right, that's it for today, and hopefully I can see you in the next video. Ciao, bye bye.